And hi, everybody, and welcome back for another bit of baseball in a very icy, sleety, slushy Commonwealth of PA. There's brother Jack Dawson and my partner in crime, Bernie Strom. So hope you guys are doing well. So everybody watched the thing last night, but I took it down. So we were doing Apago, or we're going to try to do Apago with Pocket Pennant Run because we've already kind of run Action PC through its paces. Though we're going to still do it with more, and as I talked about last time, I'm going to be adding some things like I think there's one called Time Travel Baseball and some other ones that we're going to kind of add in once I get more familiar with the rules and stuff like that. But and Paul Fay reminded me of this. I had trouble setting the lineups or altering lineups, and Paul said I'd asked for this new way of doing it because before you used to be able to just drag players from lineups and stuff like that. Well, anyhow, I don't remember doing that. Asking that, but I'm going to take Paul's word for it. And so setting lineups really isn't too bad. So I have Strat Max off screen. I'll pull it over here in a second. But I thought what we would do tonight is something I haven't done with Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. So we've played Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. I've shown how to create teams or, things like that at the player level, at the team level. Um, Show the game flow, things like that. But the one thing that we've never done, or that I've never done with Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, is use it just as a board game assistant. Haven't done that. So we're just going to do, I don't know how long the game will go on or something. It depends on how many folks come in and want to just chat some baseball. I know Dave Gardner is doing a chat over there called Enjoying Christmas Games. And somebody in there, I think it was Barbara, mentioned a great book. It was certainly nice to hear somebody mention something non-sports. It was a great book by Nobel Prize winner Elie Wiesel, and it's called Night. And it's one of the greatest books you'll ever read. Of course, another great work from him is The Oath. But I digress. I digress indeed. So I'm going to show you basically how this is doing, but I'm not going to mess with the lineups, but just in case, because I got really confused. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to just match the lineups here that we have in Strat Max. Okay. And we can see here everybody's matching up Wayne Garrett, Bud Harrelson, Cleon Jones, Tommy Agee, Art Shamsky, Ed Kranepool, Jerry Grody, Ken Boswell, and Tom Seaver. And of course, for the Buccos, Omar Moran, all the way down. So everything is looking right. Okay, so we're going to pull, we'll be moving Strat in and off the screen here and there. But for now, let's move it over so I can see everybody here. Okay. So basically, when you're altering a lineup, you're just going to be selecting the two players, like the player you'd want to switch in, and then you would just change position. So Don Clendenin would be here, and then let's say I want to switch with Tommy Agee, I would just select Don Clendenin, Tommy Agee, or what have you. Just select Don Clendenin, pick that, and just pick the position, and bang, he's in the lineup. And then you just use these arrows to move players up and down, up and down. I don't remember. I really don't remember asking this bit. Paul said that was like 16 months ago, but he keeps a record because I'm so used to just in Action PC baseball being able to drag things around. So I'm going to ask Paul, hey, cousin Ken, good evening. So I'm going to have to ask Paul if he could show me the context of why I asked for that. Because I don't remember asking. I don't remember asking for this kind of switch. I thought you could just drag over. I think I was asking for this, but I don't know. I'll get with Paul. But anyhow, good stuff. And then all you do is you just save your lineup. I'm not going to. All right. So we're not playing Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. We're actually playing Strat in this. And cousin Ken and I have a good series going in Apago with in the 1912 World Series. So my Giants leading his Red Sox 2-1. Last game is really, really good. So the next game, I think I'm going to be a bit overmatched because I had accidentally started Marquard twice. I didn't even realize it. Although I did cite the 1905 World Series. Christy Mathewson started every other game. But to be fair to Cuz, I will start my number 3 guy or whatever. against be Smokey Joe Wood. So that'll be game 4 when we get to that, and that'll be lots of fun, lots of fun, lots of fun. Um, I still haven't decided. I Strat Max is really really nice for streaming also. So for right now, I'm keeping Strat Max and I'm keeping ApaGo, and I'll probably keep ApaGo. Well, no, not probably. I'm going to keep it because hopefully Ken and I will be playing some games. After we finish our 1912 World Series, this is actually the Ken. Is this the second thing we've played together? I think in ApaGo, or I think we did a test game. Then we did. Yeah, it was. It was seriously. It was. I did not realize because I would have started the World Series with Christy Mathewson. So, yup. But nonetheless, I appreciate you and Dwayne catching that. I really did not know. Um, so I'm going to keep Apago because hopefully some other guys will play it. There's only one person in here that comes in is John DFW that plays Strat Max. So after a while, I think if I can't find anybody to sort of just play against, I'll keep it on the channel for a while just because I know Strat is popular, obviously. But again, to choose between the two, I love them both, but one of them's got to go. Because it's a financial consideration. That's really it. So, because I know there was somebody else mentioned the other night that they'd like to play Apago as well. So, if you read the night book you talked about while in bed, ooh. So the only reason, David, I'm not going to is because that book is something I don't joke about, my friend, and I'm not picking on you, David, at all. The book is about the Holocaust, um, and it's that's why I had just mentioned, because sometimes we go off and we talk about literature in here, we'll talk about movies and stuff like that, and occasionally we'll go off of baseball, which is nice. But I mean, that's a great pun. But unfortunately, in the context of this book, yeah, it's not a long read, but it's powerful. I've read it a number of times in my life, including I did 2 masters just really quickly about this book. So I did 2 master's theses, and there's a reason for that. Um, so the first master's thesis was of course it was about the Holocaust. And while that's such a broad subject, so what I wanted to narrow it down to a specific camp called Jasenovac, which was particularly brutal. So brutal, the Nazis didn't even run Jasenovac. It was sort of overseen, obviously, by the National Socialists, but it was actually in Croatia, and it was the Nazis. I mean, there were even recovered communiques about Jasenovac that even they commented on the brutality. And the reason that I selected Jasenovac is because many of my faith, the Eastern Orthodox Christian faith, were exterminated at Jasenovac. That was kind of the death camp, if you will, concentration camp for people mainly of the Eastern Orthodox faith that were they were sent there. But Elie Wiesel, of course, was never at Jasenovac. He was elsewhere. But the book is very, 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 very powerful. He writes with such grace, and again, I think the book is maybe 130 pages. Hey, welcome in, MV. And so, I'd read it a number of times in my past, and I read it again for that first master's thesis. But what was happening with that is I'm working 6 hours a day on that one, and I found myself very quickly getting emotionally drained. I would get to like the 6th hour, and you got to think about this. You're reviewing things, uh, whatever it is you're studying, the Wannsee conference, which is basically the genesis, really the beginning of what would be called in Hebrew called the Shoah, the Holocaust. And I went to my faculty advisor and I said, look, I want to keep doing it. He was very enthusiastic about it. Dr. Berhani, Tekla Haminon, who was a fellow Orthodox Christian. And so I said, look, I need to do something else so that I can diffuse from this. And so my other master's thesis was the history of rock and roll. Both of them with interactive websites, things like that. But doing the Holocaust, man, that's I'm sure you can imagine that was pretty draining. But the Wiesel book Night is one of the greatest pieces of literature, just period. Not even just about that horrible dark time in history that we should never forget. But yeah, so that's the only reason, David. So sorry to go long winded on that, but I love your puns. But on this one, I just want to keep very respectful for that book. And I know you don't mean disrespect, because when you said that night book, I don't think you've read it. So it's all good, brother. Don't feel badly. All right. So as far as Ned McGreevy, or I'm sorry, the Michael T. McGreevy, we're going to use his proper name for this time around. We have to push it back a few days. You guys know I'm dealing with, I've pretty much recovered from the first eye surgery. The second one is coming up January 8th. We'll have the league started before then. But what I want to do is I'm getting everything done. The rosters are now, they're done. Well, mine's not done, but it's easy. Boom, boom, boom. It's done. I've got to assign the ballparks. That doesn't take long. I will tell you guys that you had talked about many of you for your ballpark specific years. And I said, well, we're using Mike Silva's ballparks for those of you that picked older ballparks. I don't think anybody picked any of the newer ballparks. In other words, the ones that come with the out of the park baseball game. So at least you're going to at least have the ballpark within that year range that you wanted. Okay. So people were specifically saying, well, I want 1911 Polo Grounds or 1926 Yankee Stadium. So, but to speed things along, you're going to be at least within that year range. Okay. Um, Logos. If anybody who's put up your own logos, those are logos you use. If I don't see any more logos within a few more days, I'm going to go ahead and design a few, put them up in the Regrevy Discord. If you're one of those teams, just go ahead and just pick one. Okay. And then we can move ahead with that. So I do appreciate your patience, guys. I didn't expect this much of a recovery from this, but I'd learned from my ophthalmologist that it was actually a lot more than just a routine surgery on my right eye. So left eye is not supposed to be as bad, but the right eye was seriously like almost loss of sight type thing. There's Victor Murati, says witness protection. So there we go. So anyhow, I've got Strat Max off the screen, but I'll pull it over every once in a while if people think I'm cheating, or if I have a Strat question. All right. So let's get this going. And Stick Tap Sports Network, welcome in. He says, it's a fine evening for baseball. Indeed, it is a fine evening. It's always a fine evening for baseball, even though the weather sucks. Okay, so we're going to go to game day here. And we're going to do board game assistant and no dice. No dice. So David says he wants to get into Pocket Pennant Run, but every time I try, the program craps out. It's been like that on every update. I'm not sure if it's your antivirus software, Norton, has anything to do with it. So Norton sucks, for one thing. Norton and McAfee's even worse. Those two give you so many false positives. So, David, I used to be an IT manager at Penn State University, and we realized when we were using Norton a lot of the problems that it would cause with programs, with whatever. And I'll tell you what, personally, what I use for virus protection is Windows Defender. And of course, you got to do some responsible web surfing too, and you're not downloading anything from anywhere. But there still are crashes in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. That being said, there are still crashes though too in Action PC Baseball. I would like, so the first thing, David, is to make sure that you're not running it from your desktop. That makes this game super, super crashy. Hey, Forrest, he says, what kind of eye surgery? You have diabetic retinopathy. Ooh, ow. That's man, I'm hopefully your recovery and everything like that, Forrest. And welcome to the family. And I see a San Diego Padres. And I think you're the first San Diego Padres fan in the family. So welcome in. If you've never been here before, I refer to this as a family more than I do a channel, because everybody together, this is a wonderful, wonderful community. So welcome in. You're great now. Thanks. You're good now. He says, thanks. So yeah, all kinds of weird things going on. I learned something about cataracts. The reason I got them, had nothing to do with age. So some years ago, because my doctor told me I apparently had a long time, but it was just slowly, is I'd gone through some steroid treatment with cubital tunnel syndrome that I had years ago, and it was the only other surgery I ever had in my life. And you're very welcome, Forrest. And basically, it was a very, very slow, but yeah, it was that, and plus stigmatism. What happened was is why I decided to get this time was, when I got back from Europe, there was a whole mess up with my driver's license. So I had to kind of start all over and blah 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 and everything. So I'm doing the eye test at PennDOT, and the guy said, "Go ahead, just read all the letters or whatever left to right." Um, and so I'm reading, and he said, "Well, okay, continue." I said, "Well, I just read all the letters." And he said, "No, you didn't. There's still four more." I'm like, "No, they're not." I said, "That whole right hand column is completely blank." And he said, He said, "Let's go try another machine." And so we went, and he said, "Okay, try it again." And I said, "Are you guys having a software issue?" He said, "No, these aren't computerized." He said, "They're just slides." And he said, "You need to go to see an eye doctor now." Went, got tested, and the doctor's like, "You're really," he said, "You're losing the sight. You're losing the sight in your right eye almost completely." And so he said, "You take this and you go to the eye surgeon." So that was a very, very busy day for me. I'm glad I got it done. But it was not diabetic retinopathy, and thank God for anybody that wasn't glaucoma, because glaucoma is, well, glaucoma is not fun. And oof. Brad Church, welcome in. He says, Dr. Beatles, you had me dust off Diamond My Baseball the other night. Enjoyed how you were playing more spectator with that game. Yeah, so on here, that's the way I do it. Forrest, it's all good, man. You know what? I'm breathing. I'm hanging out with you guys. I got home from work safe tonight in this nasty weather. So, and we're in the 12 days of Christmas now. This is day number 2. Christmas is, I love it. What can I say? I will ask though, you guys, my mom suffered a stroke. If you guys could please just keep her in in your prayers. She's not doing so well right now. So it's kind of got me a little scared. But I'm very, very thankful, very blessed for this wonderful, and I mean it, for this wonderful community that we have here, this wonderful family, the Borgata, if you will. Yeah. Brad, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Baseball demos. David says he's been a Padres fan from way back. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you, Forrest. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So what we have Pocket Pennant Run set up here, and David said he's running it on his laptop. David, when you run into crashes, shoot a message to Paul Fay, and if you can send your save file where the crash happened, so that way Paul can try to reproduce the bug. That being said, when the game behaves itself, it's really excellent. It is really, really excellent. Anyhow, I am glad that you guys are here. However long you hang out is up to you, as families do. But in the meantime, we're going to play as if we're rolling Stratomatic, but I'm using Strat Max. And let's go for it. So for those of you that would be curious in how I play Strat Max, I will show you how I set it up. Because I think, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do there. I think this is all a waste of real estate. It really, really is to me. I don't care. The batter doesn't move. It's always going to show me as a lefty righty and a picture that never moves. And at least that left field looks like Petco Park. I don't think this is Petco Park, but that looks like it a little bit. This whole thing. So I don't know what ballpark. It doesn't matter to me. So what I do is I turn off fast mode. And then I turn on the dice, and that's how I play. I like to have the card there, and then everything just kind of watching the dice roll, and then just getting the play results. So that's how I play Strat Max. If I need to look at who's on base, whatever, I can just do that, and then just back to dice and ready to rock and roll. So David says he may do a recording of Pocket Pennant Run on the channel and see if it crashes. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, that would be a great idea, David. So I'm going to move Strat Max off of here. And I got to make this window smaller because I do want to be able to see you guys. Because Forrest, again, if this is your first time here, you will note that interacting with you guys to me is much more important than the game that's on the screen. So rarely, if ever, do I do a straight up 9 inning game unless it's baseball for Windows. All right. That being said, we are ready to go. Starting defense for the 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates. It's going to be the 79 Pirates and the 69 New York Mets. So here we go. In left field, we got John Milner. In center, Omar Moreno. In right field, the Cobra himself, Dave Parker. And we go around the horn from first to third. We got Willie Stargell, Phil Garner, Tim Foley, and Bill Madlock. Catching is Ed Ott, and on the mound is Bert Blyleven. And he will be facing the New York Mets starter, Tom Seaver. And as Ernie Harwell would say in Baseball for Windows, we'll get to him in the bottom half. So these lineups, the lineups that I'm using are the ones that I just picked 2 teams from baseball history. Strat Max already has its lineups. And so I'm just using the same lineup that's on the cards. Okay. So you notice down here, there are no dice. So when you're playing with the board game assistant in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, you're just basically hitting the batter up button. Or if if there's a bunt, whatever, you'll see what I mean. Okay. All right, here we go. So Wayne Garrett in there now. And let's do this. Let's do this. Let's have a little bit of fun. Again, playing this strictly as a board game assistant. And that will be a strikeout. So Wayne Garrett goes down swinging. Anytime you guys want to see the strat screen, let me know. I'll drag it over. Okay, so 1 down. All right, brings up Bud Harrelson now. Bud Harrelson with a 248 average in 1969 for the Mets. All right, and here we go. I got to keep remembering. Well, see, that's the other thing why I turned off the dice, so I don't accidentally play Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. All right, here we go. Here is the pitch. And this is from the 4 column, and this is going to be a ground ball to third base. All right. So let's go ahead and select our outs, and that is going to be just a 5-3. So 2 away, and that will bring up Cleon Jones. I always thought that was a cool name, Cleon. Hi, my name is Cleon. That is a great, great one. All right, here we go. And Cleon Jones, he will single. So base hit up the middle into center field for Cleon Jones. How about that? All right. So Cleon Jones is aboard. And that will bring up Tommy Agee. So now what I've got to look for over here is to make sure as of Strat, if there's an attempted steal, then I've got to pay attention to that as well. And then record that in Pocket Pennant Run. So what we're going to do at this point now is we're going to go ahead and just for anybody that's never seen Strat Max, we'll show you how it looks on this side, which is really, really super cool. All right, so here's Tommy Agee. Runner edges away from the base, and here's a steal attempt. So, hey, showing you how this is going to work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw for the runner. And let's see if we get a CS here. Catcher makes the throw. So Ed Ott comes up gunning, and he's going to be safe. He's going to be safe. Yes, he is. So there, now we're going to record the stolen base, and hopefully there's no error. There is an error. How about that? Oh, my goodness. So a stolen base plus an error. Okay, so what we do here then in Pocket Pennant Run, we just click on the little meeple there, and we go to Board Game Assistant and steal with error. That's what we have, okay? Boom, and tries to steal second. He is safe. Error on the play. Runner's advanced. Okay, so everything is cool now, okay? If we look here at the field, we'll see Cleon Jones is at third in Strat Max, and Cleon Jones is on third in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. Again, we're just using this as a board game companion, but if you were doing a season replay or any sort of project, this is going to track stats for you. Of course, the other big news is that Action PC Baseball also now has manual input, but I've just never tried this with Pocket Pennant Run. Action PC Baseball works great, except for one play that David Baseball Demos found that you kind of have to work around a little bit. But other than that, it works beautifully. All right. So age is still in the box, and let's go ahead and let's roll the bones, baby. Let's roll the bones. All right, here's the pitch to Tommy Agee, and this is going to be a fly ball to center, and Omar Moreno will bring it in, and that will retire the side. So the Mets waste a runner. Let's go ahead and record the F8 here. Boom. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are now at bat. Starting defense for the New York Mets of 1969. And left field, we got Cleon Jones in center, Tommy Agee, and in right, Art Shamsky. Going around the horn from first to third, we got Ed Cranepool, Ken Boswell, Bud Harrelson, and Wayne Garrett. Catching is Jerry Groding. On the mound, Tom Terrific himself. So Brad Church says, is the one play the lineup double play? Ran into that today, I think. Do you mean in Action PC Baseball? No, that's in there. It's one that David said. David, do you remember what it was? If you don't mind doing a bit of typing, there was one play, and I said I'm trying to look for a workaround for that, at least until it's patched, because I'm sure it will be as they keep asking out to it. Because there's one play that Action PC, whether you go to the right, so the common outs that are there and the common plays, but then if you hit the I believe it's the E button, it's the edit button. Yeah, it says E, and then that's where you can kind of do what you would see in this game, that kind of manual entry where you're hitting all the radio buttons. So, which this in Action PC allowed board game ratings to be input. Yeah, I mean that is one thing. And welcome in, Dwayne. Yeah, the sacrifice hit plus an error, Brad. That's the one that that you can't that doesn't seem to be handled yet by Action PC Baseball. So you have to kind of score it a little bit weird, but you can do it. But it's not. You have to kind of do your own kind of voodoo on it. So, but yeah, so the big thing that Digital Diamond Baseball has, and I'm glad Dwayne brought that up, is a Digital Diamond allows you to put the players' ratings on the field. So even though I'm not playing Pocket Pennant Run Baseball, you guys will still see the colors under here under all these players. These ratings are for Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. I can't input any ratings in here at all into Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. In Action PC, there's a workaround, but it's not elegant. I don't have Action PC up right now to show you, but I can if we're hanging around here at the end of the game. Is in the notes section or the little bio section, notes about the player. You could actually put the player ratings in there. That doesn't solve the problem of them not showing on the field, but at least you would have the rating showing. Very, very easy to do. A little time consuming, I guess, but no more than it would take to put those ratings in Digital Diamond Baseball. So there would be something for Action PC Baseball and Pocket Pennant Run Baseball to think about. I think it's a great idea. Dwayne Martz, I mean, we're not even talking quality of life here, because if the idea of a board game companion, and that's where I think Mark Cohen has it really right, is you don't want to have to shuffle. This is supposed to save you from shuffling through cards and writing things down and stuff like that. And it would be really nice somehow to be able to see, these ratings, because these ratings are based on Pocket Pennant Run's ratings. This has nothing to do with Strat or APA or Sports Illustrated or Pine Tar, Payoff Pitch, Inside Pitch, and you can play all of these on here. And that's the same with Action PC Baseball. So it's not a knock on these games. It's just that they've got to get to that next step. So feature completeness, Digital Diamond is for that. My only thing about Digital Diamond Baseball, Kevin Hayes, welcome in. Welcome to the family, buddy. How you doing? My only, and it's not a knock, but is the syntax thing in Digital Diamond Baseball can sometimes twist me up a little bit. Do I know how to add a player not on the active roster in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball? So yes, but it's not the way that you might think of how you're going to do it. So in other words, you're talking about so I think this uses a 25-man roster. So there is a way to do it, but I'll have to show you after this game. So the short answer is yes, but it's not difficult, but it's not terribly straightforward. I think I need to be doing a lot more just straight up tutorials about this game. So we will get there. David's welcome in, John DFW. So John, some night you and I got to play some baseball, Max. I keep saying it, and we're playing it right now. So it's off screen, and we're playing it with this. David says, just curious, do you have the 2020 season action PC? I do. So, what it, yeah, you can. Yeah, Kevin, definitely. Just, in fact, actually, do me a favor, Kevin, if you would, just at the end of this video or wherever, if it allows commenting now, just leave me a note in the comments with that question, just in case we don't get to it. The only reason is because I do have work tomorrow morning. Saturday is my only daytime work at FedEx. The rest of it is second shift. Of course, with the weather, I don't know whether there'll be work tomorrow. We'll see. But if you would, Kevin, I'd appreciate it. And are you in our Ned McGreevy, Michael T, or Ned McGreevy Discord? Please join. You can friend me, friend anybody that's in here. Beatles Eternally. And then if I always ask John, I got to start paying John for this, although he's the one that created the Discord. John, if you wouldn't mind putting the invite link, please, into the Ned McGreevy Discord. And Kevin, just look, it's Beatles Eternally, just all one word, Beatles Eternally, and friend me and stuff like that. And there's also like 3 free baseball games you can download from our Discord. You'll be able to follow our league, post your projects, talk about what you're doing, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so it does have the 2020 as played. It has the 2020 projection season as well. So there is the Discord link, Kevin. Do hope you'll join. It's a great community. Geez, John, how many games do we even cover? All right, Forrest is joining. Guys, friend me up. Friend up everybody there. You can see John DFW is in there. Ken Castro, Dwayne Martz, myself. And it's a great community. We cover like almost all the digital games. We cover tons of cards and dice games, always adding, always changing. And I'll tell you what, all the love, all the thanks has to go to John DFW, who has just done an absolutely stellar job piloting the controls on the McGreevy Discord. All right, so welcome in, Forrest. All right, so Omar Moreno going to lead things off here, and again, I'm playing this on Strat Max, so let's do this. Here we go. So we're gonna let Moreno swing away here, and Omar Moreno will draw the walk. So let's go ahead and we're going to record that in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. All right. So now again, I'll do here, if there's a steal on Strat Max, then we will record that in here, okay? So John telling us here that there are channels for 10 games and another channel for other games. So maybe games right now that maybe not a lot of people playing. So if you play Pine Tar Baseball and you want to talk about it, and you go on the McGreevy Discord, you may not see a channel for Pine Tar Baseball. Just go to other games and feel free to start a thread, discussion, whatever you want about it. So, but most of the major games are covered. But again, and if there's enough, there's enough people that want, that it engenders a lot of discussion on a specific game or something that comes out, then can always change. But you're going to find what you're looking for. And again, dig around. You will find free baseball games and who knows what else. You might even find Kate Beckinsale if you look hard enough. All right. Let's get our batter up here. So now we got Bill Madlock. So let's see what we got here with Bill Madlock. Let's see if there's going to be... so we're not going to attempt to steal. Oh, my goodness. All right. And we got a double play. Hitting to a double play. So this is going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Maybe we should have tried to steal with Moreno. I forgot that I'm managing on this side. but that's all right. We're just going to do it, just have some fun. So we got a double play, 6-4-3. All right. So 2 down, and that will bring up Dave Parker. All right. And here's the pitch to the Cobra. Congratulations to Jeff Kent, by the way. And Dave Parker is going to ground out to second. So let's score this one 4-3. And this is working really, really nicely. And ground ball 4-3. And that's it. All right. So leading off here is going to be Art Shamsky. And I don't know whether we'll do the whole 9 innings, but this is kind of fun to do. And so you guys can see how this works. Because again, I've never done it with a cards and dice, and so why not? Should have stolen with Moreno, but I don't think it would have mattered. Got to remember that. All right. Anyhow, here's the pitch to Art Shamsky, and Shamsky is going to ground this one to scrap iron, score this one 4-3, and 1 away. There we go. All right. All right, we got Ed Cranepool up there. David says, cool, just order the 2020 season in action. 162 games and what if file included. Yeah. Yeah, because I was even thinking, okay, is he back then, I was like, you're gonna release the 2020 season. And I saw this sort of the what if and all that. Yeah, because it's like, why would and Dave's such a good guy. It's like, okay, how's he gonna do this? Because he's not gonna charge full price for that. So all right. Nice. I don't have the brain power to do it. It'd be really fun to just kind of do a juxtaposition between how this game does it and Action PC does it and Digital Diamond does it all on the same stream. But good God, I don't, I don't think I can do it, man. Besides, it would take our entire Super Bowl Sunday baseball spectacular to do probably one game using all 3 engines simultaneously. So forget that mad idea. All right, here is Ed Cranepool. All right, after this Forrest, I will certainly accept that friend request and welcome, and I'll give you an invite right into the McGreevy Discord. Looking forward to hanging out with us. It's a lot of fun. Okay, great. Here we go. And here's the pitch to Ed Cranepool. And Cranepool is going to look at a called strike 3. So nice job there by Burt Blyleven to record the strikeout. All right. So 1 away. And that will bring up Jerry Grody. Grody batting in the number 7 hole. And here is the wind to end the pitch from Burt Blyleven to Grody. And swing and a miss, strikeout. So Burt Blyleven records another strikeout here. And that will end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score here at Three Rivers Stadium. The 1979 Pirates hosting the 1969 New York Mets here, playing pocket pennant run baseball as a board game companion to Strat Max. Beatles gets by with a little help from his friends. That definitely counts, my friend. That definitely counts. David's got a first look. David, what's your next first look? I know you said you had something you were thinking about for a first look. What do you got coming up, man? So for you guys, the other thing that we do in this family is we're always about, it's about supporting one another's projects, whether they're YouTube content creators or just, you guys are playing projects on your own, rolling them up, things like that. David Baseball Demos is a great channel. He's the reason I'm hanging out here now. He does all kinds of really, really cool creative things. His Demolition League is a lot of fun. He does a game of the week like NBC used to do. All kinds of great stuff, though. Dwayne Martz, YouTube Network. You see him in here. He's another excellent with his 1978 Braves and Yankees replay, hoping someday he'll get back to his World Series project. Also, for those of you that like NASCAR, he does Red, White, and Blue Racing. Stick Tap Sports Network, another awesome channel. So definitely check that out as well. I don't want to miss anybody here. So, and any of you guys here, you have your own channel too. Let us know. Bernie Strom, of course, the Bernie Strom Sports Replays, great channel, and MV. I don't know what you're calling your channel these days, but let us know, guys. Don't be shy. Tell us about your channel. Tell us about your projects. So the lineup issue was Beatles being kind of a moron, John. So now, and I've got to ask Paul in what context I'd asked for this. So because I'm used to an out of the park baseball and action PC baseball, that you can kind of just click and drag, right, and move people. Well, according to Paul, apparently I had asked for that sort of clicky thing with the arrows and the pick one player, pick the other player, choose position. I trust Paul, but he said that was 16 months ago I asked for it. So apparently it was a feature I asked for, but forgot. Because usually you guys know when I'm playing pocket pennant run baseball on here, I'm usually just picking a game or letting the software pick a day in baseball history, and we just play that game, right? So basically, I can't show you the lineup issue now because we're in game. But basically, what you do is you just pick the player on the bench, right? So on the right hand side of the screen, click choose position, right? Then the box will come up. You can choose any position that he's rated for, so whatever's in green. Click it, then click. Then what I was forgetting to do was click save lineup. I was forgetting that part because when you click save lineup, all that does is allow you then to just go back. So that's where I got stuck. I'm thinking I can't save this lineup. I can't save this lineup. And I just needed to change the position of one other player. And that was it. So Forrest knows David's channel. There we go. All right. So you are a man of impeccable taste, Forrest. David says the 2020 extra players are on the way from Strat. He says once they arrive, he's going to do a demolition league for that Imagine season. He says it's perfect for the demolition league. Great idea. All right. Good stuff. All right. Wilver Dornell Stargell will lead things off here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Stargell will be followed by John Milner and Phil Garner. And here we go. Here's the pitch to Willie. And this one is swung on, and we got us a split reading. It's either going to be a base hit or a double for Willie, and that's going to be a base hit for Willie Stargell. Okay, so you're thinking about here. Let me help you out here a little bit, and I'll tell you what about being nervous. So this place, this Beatles Eternally that the place is in, this family. I'm kind of like and not because of, and I know you guys get plug your ears. You've heard this a billion times before. So Forrest, I'm kind of, if you know anything about dead ball baseball, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, but certainly one of the most dominant in the dead ball era was a guy named Rube Waddell. So contemporaries said that, of course, if you got Rube angry, he would bear down, and he was such a dominant pitcher. Rube was also easily distracted by puppies, fire trucks, things like that. That's kind of what this channel is. I don't have the voice of a broadcaster. I don't, whatever. And if I can do a YouTube thing, anybody can do a YouTube thing, man. So don't be nervous. You should do it. Just do it. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'll tell you what, you start yourself a channel, and you're going to have a lot of subscribers because we're going to come and subscribe. Everybody does that in this community. I'm subscribed to David's channel and follow him when I can. Dwayne, Stick Tap, everybody, man. That's just what we do. So you're already going to have an audience, man. And it's cool. Look, some of these guys have been with me, like Ken Castro, since the beginning, and D. Scott Howard since the beginning. And these guys have put up with my madness. So just do it, man. Don't worry about it. It's fun. It's fun. As long as you don't think of it as a job and just have fun with it, man, you have a great time with this. So please give it some thought, man. We talk about it in Discord if you want. David says he's guessing setting up that type of league and making your own schedule or having one created. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And now that Action PC Baseball has improved the scheduler, because that was its Achilles heel, I think that's a great idea. I like how people use like some baseball games for other things. So Robert RGL Network, for instance, he uses Action PC Baseball to do his research, and he demonstrated that a little bit on a broadcast last week, how he uses Action PC Baseball to do research for his inside pitch projects. So I love it when The guys who primarily play cards and dice baseball will still use a digital format to to help set up their cards and dice project. I love that. I think that's great. And I'm hoping that Action PC Baseball will lure some cards and dice over to say, let me try the baseball game itself. And I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised. Action PC Baseball is superb. It's my second favorite baseball game. And D. Scott Howard said he didn't start the fire. So channeling his inner Billy Joel, you were here from pretty much the beginning in this channel too. 2018, man. I did take 2 years off. So been doing this for 5 years, not 7, but still. Yeah. Well, thank you, Forrest. I appreciate it. I'm an entertainer actually by trade. I'm a I'm going back into it, I hope. I was a professional sleight of hand artist, so magician. And I'm also a singer and keyboard player. So I've been in a lot of bands, things like that. But when you hear guys like Christopher Slovic and you hear guys like Legend Sports Universe and guys like Ron Juckett, those guys have broadcaster voices. They're amazing. Hey, tennis fan. He says this is slow as baseball. Dude, yeah, man, it is. If you're in here expecting a straight up call of a 9-inning game, sorry. I'm all about talking to you guys. You guys are important. And you are too, so welcome in. If you don't like it, dude, that's all right. That's cool. There you go. David says he feels like an old fuddy-duddy on YouTube. Nah, come on. So has the warmth of a Mel Allen. No, sometimes I'm as drunk as Mel Allen. How you doing, Tessier Ashpole? So yeah, tennis fan, you can hang around or find somebody else that's going to do a straight up 9-inning game. But this is about talking baseball and hanging out with people, man. The game's secondary for me. That's what makes this channel or this family a little bit different. So thanks for talking to me about it. Yeah, it would be so fun, and it is fun. All right, here we go. We got John Milner up here now. And again, for anybody that's just joining, we're using Strat Max off screen and Pocket Pennant Run as our board game companion. All right, and what do we have? So he hits into the force play. So Bud Harrelson will go to second. And Willie Stargell is out. Oh, my goodness gracious. So Buck's just not getting a break here at all. All right, so let's go ahead and select our out, if we will. So, and this is going to be a little 6-3 job here. Boink, and there we go. Now, there's something I can show you is I can actually undo this play since I kind of messed it up a little bit. All right, so I could just reset the at-bat. This will reset the at-bat. So that brings John Milner up here, and we know that Willie Stargell is out. So we have to do this in a sort of different way. Okay. So I think I hit the wrong 6-3. Pretty sure. No, I did not. Let's back it up again because we want Willie to be out. I'm cursed. I'm cursed. I'm telling you, I'm cursed. Yep. Oh no, man. So of course I'm open to criticism, but let me just give you a rejoinder, and I appreciate your kindness. Whether the channel grows or not is irrelevant to me. Forrest is a drummer, cool. That's irrelevant to me. I would rather have 10, and I hate to use the term subscribers, 10 subscribers who are just actively like to engage and talk about. This is the only sport I follow, tennis fan, is just baseball. It's history, everything. Then 1,000 people who just don't give a shit, to be honest with you. I do appreciate you though, man, but I want this to be a little bit different. And people have to remind me how many members, subscribers, whatever you want to call it on this channel. I never ever look. All right, so we got to get rid of Willie Stargell up there. So what are we going to do with Willie here? So we're going to get rid of him because the way I'm doing it, Let me see. We're not going to advance. He's going to be out on an advance. So we're just going to do that. Was thrown out trying for second. We're just going to do it that way. Doesn't matter till I figure out what I did wrong. Select the from to. So shortstop to first. And we're going to go ahead and enter that play. And he's out. And then just John Milner is just going to be on the fielder's choice. That'll be the way we'll do this. Okay. There is no player there. Okay. So let me see here. Because I probably just did this wrong. Because Milner is on. Yeah, the important thing is to have fun, man. It is. It's the important thing to have fun. If you want to grow your channel, don't be like me. Don't be like me, man. How's that sound? Don't be like me. All right. Let me see. I still got to figure out what to do with John Milner here. Good God, this drives me nuts. This is why I get crazy with Digital Diamond Baseball. All right, I'm going to reset this at bat one more time. All right. So basically, I want Willie Stargell out at second and John Milner on. And for some reason, when I'm doing the 6-3, which is what it is, right, it's not allowing me to do this. So let me think about this for a second. Ground ball, lead runner. That's the one I want. That was stupid. Okay. I believe so. Yep. Short to first. See if that did it. That did not do it. This is when I need Paul Fay back again. So Stargell was supposed to be out. I'm going to reset this at bat all damn night. Oh, 6-4. Thank you, Dwayne. Here I am looking for all kinds of crazy shit. Thank you, man. I don't know why I was thinking of 6-3. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here, Dwayne Martz, man. He pulls my arse out of the fire all the time, and I got to do 6-4 here on the side. Okay, this is going to be a ground ball, and it's going to be, 6-4. That's what we've been waiting for. Yep. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Losing my shit here. All right. Now, 30 minutes later, let's bring up Scrap Iron. All right. One out here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And here is the pitch. Some night I'll shock you guys, and I will call a 9-inning game, but I won't be talking to the chat, and I think that will freak you guys out. And Phil Garner goes down swinging. He goes down swinging. There we go. All right, so 2 away, and that will bring up the catcher, Ed Ott. Beatles have you on the TV. Tabby is watching you, making bread. Nice. Oh, man, that sounds perfect. Hey, Tabby. Hi, baby. She's the official cat of the YouTube sports gaming community. And this is going to be a ground ball. And this is going to be a 1-3. This is a tapper back to Seaver, and he will go to Crane Pole. And that will retire the side. And thank you guys for fixing me up here. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. No score. All right. Other thing for anybody new to this family, the focus of this channel is largely dead ball and 19th century baseball. So I've been doing some modern baseball for now and having fun with it, right? All right, we got Ken Boswell up. Got to run to the store, leaving you on to keep an eye on the dog. Don't worry about the cats. I will not. Dogs have owners, cats have staff. Careful driving, my brother. All right, here we go. Ken Boswell, we are ready to rock and roll. All right, and here is the pitch from Burt Blyleven. And this is going to be a base hit. Line shot to left by Ken Boswell. So good, solid wood on that one. And Boswell is aboard. And here is Tom Terrific. So we'll see if they're going to go bunt here. See what they're going to do. What are these Mets up to? So runner moving off base. And there's a pickoff attempt. And runner dives back in safely. David says he's going to download the 2020 season and see what kind of action PC mischief I can get into. Have fun, David. Thanks for stopping in, man. Really, really appreciate it. All right, let's roll it up again. And so Seaver lays down the bunt, and this is going to be a sacrifice. All right. So Ken Boswell will move to second, and let's select our little out here. And there's our sack bunt. And the sack bunt here. This is a very, very different sort of way to play this. This is really fun, actually. All right. That brings up Wayne Garrett. We're back to the top of the order. Garrett struck out his first time up, 1 down. And I keep wanting to hit this over here. I got to remember I'm playing Strat Max over here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. And base hit. Ken Boswell is going to move to third on the play. So here come the New York Mets. Runners at the corners, 1 down, and Blyleven is going to have to work out of the stretch here, I think. All right. Here we go. Brings up Bud Harrelson. So he grounded to third his last time up. And here is the pitch to Bud Harrelson. And not able to get a good lead. So runner being held on the steal check there. And here we go again. The suicide squeeze is on. Great bunt. Batter might beat it out. Let's see what we got. And he is going to be out. He is out of there. Wow. So we did get an excellent bunt. Whoa, what do we get here? It says the excellent bunt, runner scores from third, but the batter is out. Wow. Okay. So how about that? So we're going to call this one a ground ball. Do we need to go to the other one here? Let's see. It's not sacrifice. So this is going to be a ground ball 2-3 with the runners advancing. There we go. Boink. And there we go. And a run scores. So they did the suicide squeeze, man. Gotta love that stuff. So sometimes I feel that Strat Max plays conservatively, but here it is playing, boy, sack bunt. Pretty nice. All right, runner on second, and a New York Met is in. So it is 1-0. And here's Cleon Jones, singled his last time up. Runner in scoring position for the New York Mets. And here's the pitch to Cleon Jones, coolest name in baseball. Wow, one of the coolest. And swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will end the inning. But the New York Mets get a run on a suicide squeeze play, and you gotta love that. Even though I'm a Pirates fan, let's go to the top or the bottom of the third inning, and let's look at our score sheet and see how close we've gotten here. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Okay, good. All right, Tim Foley will be leading off here. Foley, a late acquisition in 1979 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, and waiting on deck is Burt Blyleven. So let's see if the Pirates can get one back here in the third. And here is the pitch, and this is going to be a grounder to short, and Harrelson up with it, and he will go to Ed Kranepool for out number 1. All right. And that brings up Burt Blyleven now. And here is the pitch to Burt Blyleven, first Dutch member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. And swing, batter, and you're out of there. All right. All right, so Tom Terrific is fan 2 in this game thus far. And let's swing around to the top of the order here with Omar Moreno, who drew a walk last time. So 2 away for the Bucks here in the bottom of the third. And here's the pitch to Omar. And Moreno will swing right through this one, and that will be a strikeout for Tom Seaver, his third of the game. So the Pirates fail to answer. We go to the top of the 4th inning. The Mets lead the Pirates 1-0. All right, and it will be, we got Tommy Agee up there. Art Shamsky waits on deck. Agee, his last time, flew out to Omar Moreno. Here's the wind and the pitch from Burt Blyleven. And we're going to have either a single or a line out. Let's see what we got here. Split reading, and it's going to be a base hit for Tommy Agee. Out to center field. So Agee aboard. And I'll tell you what, we are going to. What are we doing here, man? All right. Just had to check something off screen. And let's get a batter up there. Here's Art Shamsky, grounded out 4-3. So Burt Blyleven wanting to get double play here. So we're going to position our defense in Strat. So you guys can see that over here that I'm doing that. So I'm not cheating. So we're going to put the infield back. There we go. Double play depth. Back over here we go. All right. And here is the pitch to Shamsky. And Shamsky with a nice bunt. And he will, it's a nice sacrifice there. All right. So Tommy Agee will move to second. So let's record the sac bunt for Mr. Shamsky here. So let me see. This is Madlock to Gardner. Covering on the play. And sacrifice bunt. There we go. All right. Boy, this reminds me of how used I am to playing digital baseball. All right, here's Ed Kranepool, struck out his last time up. Mets threatening to add some more here in the fourth inning. And here is the wind and the pitch from Burt Blyleven. And that's a swing and a miss. Ed Kranepool will go down swinging. All right. So Blyleven has struck out 5 in this game thus far. And that will bring up Jerry Grody now. Grody struck out his last time up. And here's the pitch. And we got a split reading. It's going to be either a double or a single. 1-16 for a double. And indeed it is. So that's a double, and that is going to score Tommy Agee. So the Buccos a little bit of trouble here now. 2-0 Mets. And I'll bring up Ken Boswell, who singled his last time up. So it'll be interesting to see what action or what Pocket Pennant run does, if it's going to completely ignore its own rules. It doesn't really matter. I just want to see if this will turn yellow if Blyleven keeps giving up runs. All right. So 2 away. And here is the pitch to Ken Boswell. Batter chokes in the clutch, and he is going to pop out to second to Phil Garner, and that will retire the side. So that's what we had over there so that was pretty nice. I like to see that, though. So pop up to second, and there we go. All right, bottom of the fourth inning. Pirates need to get to work here, and it's going to be the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Bill Madlock, Dave Parker, and Willie Stargell. So last time, Bill Madlock grounded into a 4-3 double play. And here is the pitch to Madlock. And we got either a triple and a 1-9 or a single 10-20. And we got a triple from Dave Parker, baby. We will take it. We will take that triple. Yes, we will. All right. So let's see what Chuck Tanner wants to do. I'm just going to cheat a little bit here. So he would be calling for a sacrifice or a suicide squeeze. I'm not going to be that crazy with modern baseball. So, nah, we're not going to squeeze. We can't do that. We got to get some runs here. All right. So Dave Parker last time grounded out 4-3. Here's the pitch to the Cobra. Come on, man. Oh, baby, there we go. This is going to score a run either way, either a triple or a double. And it's back-to-back triples for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and a run will score. So, guys, I don't cheat. I do not cheat. Okay, so a run in, and the Bucks do get one back. It's now 2-1. Brings up Willie Stargell. Stargell last time singled. And the pitch to Stargell. It's either going to be a home run or a double. So the Buccos getting to Tom Seaver, and this will be a double. And the Pirates have tied this game up. All right, there we go. So just so that you guys can see, I am not cheating. Willie Stargell doubles on a long fly ball to right center. Dave Parker scores. And why would I cheat? Why would I do that? Unless I'm playing the 1912 World Series with cousin Ken Castro. All right. So still nobody out, and Seaver in some trouble here. And I don't see Strat switching him out just yet. If that happens, we will switch him out. Okay, here's John Milner now. Fielder's choice last time, and thanks to Dwayne Martz and Kevin Hayes getting me out of that. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I kept hitting 6-3. 6-4. Sometimes I can be a moron, and I wear the badge proudly. All right, here is the pitch to Milner, and Milner swings on this one. It's going to be a ground ball to Ed Kranepool. Okay, and Kranepool will take this one 3 unassisted. And, oh, wait, that was not right. I have to fix that. That should be a rather, because Stargell moves to third on this play. Okay, so I've got to reset the at-bat. Easy enough. That was my own screw-up. Reset at-bat. Yes. And then I just select the play again, and it's 3 unassisted, but the runner advances. Boop, there we go. Stargell third. Will Toole says, good evening, Beatles in chat. He says, dabbling more with Pocket Pennant Run. Really enjoying it. I'm glad, Will. One feature I would love to see is if they could have the actual play result pop up after you roll the dice for Pocket Pennant Run itself. That'd be something to ask Paul Fay to see whether you can do that or not, how that works. Because right now, again, right, it would be, and I'm not seeing that happen. The only time you're going to see pop-ups in this game is when you're playing Pocket Pennant Run. But I only ever roll the dice, or do the electronic dice when they're down here. So yeah, well, I'll pass that along to Paul. He does usually catch these broadcasts though after the fact, and he may already have an answer for it. All right, let's get a batter up here, for goodness sakes. One away, and here's Scrap Iron. He struck out his last time up. Willie Stargell hugging third base there, and here is the pitch. So Tom Terrific working out of the stretch. And this one swung on, and this is going to be, unless it's a 1, it's going to be a triple. And that's going to be a base hit. And coming in to score is Willie Stargell. So Phil Garner picking up the RBI single. And the Pittsburgh Pirates take a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So plating 3. And I see no change here I've got to keep watching this closely in case Strat Max does switch out Tom Seaver. All right. Batter up, baby. And here's Ed Ott. So Ed Ott last time grounded back to the pitcher. And here is the pitch to catcher Ed Ott. And this is going to be a fly ball to right field, and Shamsky has it. And there's not going to be any advance, so straight up F9. If anybody wants to see Strat on the screen, just let me know, and I will put it up there. All right, here is Tim Foley. Tim Foley last time grounded out. Too short. Here's the pitch now to the Bucco shortstop. And this one swung on by Foley, and it's going to be a ground ball, and Bud Harrelson will have this. It's short, and he's going to go right to Kranepool, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. How about that? 6-3. All right. So Tom Seaver in there, and let's see what Strat Max does, if it's going to allow Tom Seaver to hit for himself. Apparently it is. I'm not going to pull Tom Terrific. And Seaver is going to ground this one. Bly11 to Stargell for out number 1. All right. So that's 1 away. Back at the top of the order, Wayne Garrett. He is 1 for 2 today. Singled his last time up. Wotul said, yeah, I think it'd be cool if after you roll the dice, you had the option, seen the final result highlighted on the player cards. It'd be a great way to learn the game through repetition. Absolutely. Forrest says he's got to run. Thanks for welcoming me to the family. See you soon. Be looking forward to you, Forrest. Welcome back anytime. I'll add you to the friends list and get you in the McGreevy Discord after this broadcast, man. All right. So Pocket Pennant Run doing a really, really, really nice job here. All right, here is Wayne Garrett doing a better job than I am. Here's the pitch to Garrett. And Garrett swings on this one. This is going to be a ground ball. And Phil Garner backs up, takes the bounce, and fires onto Willie Stargell for out number 1. All right, here is Bud Harrelson now. Harrelson in the game is grounded out twice, so hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield in 2 tries. Here's the pitch to Harrelson. And this is going to be either a single or double. Swung on. Harrelson gets good wood on this one. And this one is going to be driven deep to center field. So Bud Harrelson finally does get it out of the outfield in the infield in a big way. So let's give him a 2-base hit. No speed there a second. Here comes Cleon Jones. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Bly11 comes to the belt, and he deals. Tying run on at second, and this is going to be a single ground ball into center field, and Harrelson will stop at third. Runners at the corners for the New York Mets, and it brings up Tommy Agee. Tommy Agee in the game with a single and a flyout. Bly11 works from the stretch, so we have speed on first here with Cleon Jones. And we'll see. Let me pull this over so that way you guys can see what Strat might be deciding at this point. So like to do that when there's a danger of a stolen base. And here's the pitch. Runner edges away from the base, and he's unable to get a good lead. All right, so there's that. I'll pull this back off here again, and let's do it. We do have a stolen base attempt after all. So we're going to go ahead and throw for him. Catcher makes the throw. Attempted steal. And he is safe. So Ed Ott unable to get him. So we got a stolen base. And I'll show you guys, since we're not playing Pocket Pennant Run baseball, how to do that stolen base. Basically, very, very, very simple. Just click on the runner. Make sure you click on Board Game Assistant and click Steal. And that's it. And he will always be safe. Okay. The reason I bring that up is because if you're still over here on the Pocket Pennant Run thing and you hit Steal, then the message is going to come up, are you sure you want Cleon Jones to attempt to steal on blah, blah, blah? Then that's where the Pocket Pennant Run engine kicks in. So make sure you just got Board Game Assistant selected and you're golden. All right, so 2 in scoring position. Agee back in the box now. And here we go. So Cleon Jones getting to second. All right, here we go. Here is the pitch. And this is going to be a fly ball to center. Omar Moreno will make the grab, and that ends the inning. So the Mets threaten, but they do not capitalize. And we will go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Pittsburgh Pirates of 1979 leading the 1969 New York Mets 3-2. So Tom Seaver will face the 9, 1, and 2 of the order, Bert Blyleven, Omar Moreno, and Bill Madlock. So Blyleven struck out his last time up. And we are ready to go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Here is the pitch. And this one is going to be right on the corner for strike 3. Burt Blyleven didn't even try. All right. So 1 away. Tom Seaver now with 4 strikeouts in the game. And we're back at the top of the order for Omar Moreno. So 0 for 1 with a walk. And here is the pitch. And Tom Terrific picks up strikeout number 5. It's a big swing and a miss there by Moreno. Probably should be using that bunting ability of Moreno. All right, here's Bill Madlock now. Madlock tripled his last time up, starting that big 3-run inning by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the pitch to the Mad Dog. And swung on, and this one is going to be trouble. And this one, hard hit ball, long fly ball into the power alley into right center, and Madlock has himself a 2-base hit with 2 outs. So Madlock on its second and brings up Dave Parker. Just curious what Chuck Tanner would be calling for if we were playing pocket pennant run baseball. He would be calling for the steal, but we're not playing pocket pennant run, so we won't. Could deal it over here, but I don't think I want to run on Jerry Grody. Don't want to run myself out of the inning, not with Dave Parker up there. Here we go. Parker did me good last time up with a triple. And this time, this is just going to be a fly ball to center. Tommy Agee has it, and that will retire the side. So we're moving along here. Moving along. Go to the top of the 6th inning. The Bucks leading the Mets 3-2. All right, Art Shamsky will lead things off here. Last time up, Shamsky with sacrifice. And here we go. Burt Blyleven into the wind. And here is the pitch. And this will be a fly ball out to Omar Moreno. So let's call that one F8, and let's move right along. All right, here's Ed Kranepool. He has whiffed twice in this game. Blyleven has struck out 5. And the pitch to Kranepool. Not a bat to be trifled with for sure. And as I say that, we either have a single or a line out. Split reading, line out on a 6-20. It's a 12. So that will be a line out to short. And there we go. Liner to short. 2 away. All right, here comes Jerry Grody now. Doubled his last time up. 2 away for the New York Mets here in the top of the 6th inning. And here's the pitch from Blyleven. Toes the rubber and lets it go. And this one is going to be a ground ball X. And he is safe on an error by Phil Garner. So we'll score that one E4. E4. Oh, my goodness. So, blah. That's no fun. That is no fun at all. All right. So the Buccos pick up their second error of the game. And I hope you guys saw how I did that. So anything where you're getting on base is under a hit in pocket pennant run baseball. It's not going to record that as a hit on the score sheet. But that's just how things are organized, which is absolutely fine. Okay. And then you saw I just selected 4 for the fielder. Okay, so runner on, and here's Ken Boswell now. Boswell last time popped to second. So Phil Garner hoping that this error does not prove costly. So the tying run is on first for the 1969 world champion Amazing Mets against the world champion We Are Family Pirates. Gotta love it. Okay, runner unable to get a good lead according to Strat. Let's rewind it and do it again. And the runner does not go. And this one is just going to be fully to Garner. And that will be the final out of the inning. At least I got it right this time. Except for the ground ball 6-4. You got to go over here for some reason. Don't know why. I'm not going to complain. It's all good. 6 and 4 and enter play. And there we go. Bottom of the 6th inning now. And Willie Stargell will lead things off here. Stargell, perfect 2 for 2 today, has a single and a double. I don't have much hope of Willie Stargell getting a triple, so would be fun though, wouldn't it? All right, here's the pitch. Chicken on the hill with Will, as Bob Prince used to say, and Willie Stargell, big whiff. All right, so Tom Terrific picks up his 6th strikeout of this contest that really means nothing, and brings up John Milner now. Milner last time grounded out 3 unassisted. First time up, hit into a force play. And here is the pitch from John Milner wearing his Mets livery. And John Milner is going to draw the walk. All right, so that's the second walk issued by Tom Seaver in this game, and brings up Scrap Iron, singled his last time up. 1 out here for Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the pitch, this is going to be a fly ball. Cleon Jones will have it for the out. All right. 2 down for the Bucks, and here is Ed Ott. Nothing for 2 today. Flew to right his last time up. And here's the delivery to the Bucko catcher. And Ed Ott is going to draw the walk. So the Pittsburgh Pirates trying to mount something here with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here's Tim Foley now. He's grounded out to his opposite number, Bud Harrelson, twice in this game. And here's the pitch from Seaver to the Bucko shortstop. And this one is going to be swing and a miss, strike 3. So Seaver picking up the strikeout, and that will end the 6th inning. The Buccos strand 2. We head to the top of the 7th inning. The 1979 Pirates leading the 1969 Mets 3-2. Pretty good ball game going on here, if I do say so myself. The line score thus far for the 1979 Pirates, 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors. And for the 1969 New York Mets, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no miscues. All right, looks like, is Seaver going to bat for himself? Let's find out. No, we have a pinch hitter. So now you guys will get to see how all that's done. So Seaver's day is done, and we are going to go to our bench. And let's see, Strat is bringing in, just so you guys can see. I don't know if you can see it down there. There's Ron Swoboda. So we've got to make the change here in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball. So we get down here and we look for Mr. Ron Swoboda. Where are you, Ron? Where are you? Probably already scrolled past. There he is. Boop. And pinch hits for Tom Seaver and make changes. And there we go. He's hitting for Tom Seaver. Thank you very much. So Swoboda's in there, just that easy. So in earlier versions of Pocket Pennant Run, that was like a major, major pain in the arse to even do, like pinch hitters, pitch runners. But you see now, just a few clicks and you're ready to go. All right, so Swoboda in there, a 327 average in 1969, or a 235 average and 327 at bats, 9 home runs for him. All right, and Burt Blyleven is ready to deal. Here we go. The pitch to Ron Swoboda. Oh, this is going to be trouble. Swung on and opened the window, Aunt Minnie. And in the top of the 7th inning, pinch hitter Ron Swoboda goes yard, long drive back to center field, and Omar Moreno can only watch it go up there and hit near the those club seats out in the outfield, center field here in Pittsburgh. So, boom, and there we go. The crowd does not go wild, nor should it. All right, Mets tie it up here. Nobody out. And we're back at the top of the order. Rain Garrett, 1 for 3 today, grounded out to second, his last time up. Here's the pitch. And Garrett is going to pop this one. Just a little one on the right-hand side, and Willie Stargell calling off Phil Gardner, and he will make the catch. So I hope you guys are having fun. I'm having fun. What the hell? And I do appreciate you there, tennis fan. Again, I'm just it's just the kind of way I roll, brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, here's Bud Harrelson now batting with one down. Harrelson last time had a double. So Chuck Tanner going to be keeping a close eye on Blyleven. Here's the pitch. A very close eye. This one is going to be line shot to left, just over the head of Bill Madlock, but Milner is cutting it off, and they're going to hold Harrelson to a single. All right. So runner on, the Mets picking up their ninth hit, and that will bring up Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones having a pretty good day here with two singles and a stolen base. All right, and here is the pitch to Cleon Jones. Buccos want to turn two here, and this is going to be a ground ball X, but it's an error on Phil Garner. Oh my God. So another error on Scrap Iron. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Jeez. Oh my God. This is not good, man. This is not good. It's not good, man. Oh well. Got to play it fair, man. You got to play it fair. All right. So thank you, Scrap Iron. So the Mets now with two on, one away. So Mr. Garner is going to have to go back and do the fundamentals. I don't know. That was kind of a sloppy play. I think he's got to answer the kangaroo court for that. He should have gotten to it. All right. Brings up Tommy Agee now. Tommy Agee's flown to center twice, singled. Here's the pitch to Agee. Tommy Agee draws the walk. Now we got to start wondering about Burt Blyleven here. Let us see what we got here. Batter up. All right, we're gonna let Blyleven pitch to Shamsky. Base is loaded to see if we can induce two. So we got some slow here. This is where I've got to make a little bit of manager decision here. I don't want to concede the run. All right, we're going to bring the infield in on this. And let's go. Here's the pitch. And this one is going to be popped straight up the chute, and Ed Ott is going to toss aside the mask that makes the part of the tools of ignorance, and that will be the second out. Not that Burt Blyleven can't breathe easily yet, but certainly one out closer. All right, brings up Ed Kranepool now. Kranepool lined to short his last time up. So 0 for 3 for Kranepool. All right, and let's make sure that our infield is good. So we should be fine. Yep, outfield is normal. Good to see it. Okay. Here's the pitch. Blyleven getting out of a world of trouble here, perhaps. And he does. How about it? So that is going to be a foul out, and that will end the inning. So again, Ed Ott getting the pop out. Boop. All right, now who do we got here? So Tug McGraw is going to come in to pitch. And let me see. Swoboda's out of the game. So let's get Tug McGraw. Where are you, Tug? Where are you, Tug? He's down here somewhere, man. There he is. Boink. And change position. Please select only a batter. Oh, yeah, you got to do this first. And, oops, I did this wrong. Cancel. I got to select Swoboda. And then DH. Boom. And then you'll see what will happen here, okay? And then we just go off of this. You must finish your substitutions before exiting. And, yeah, That's okay. So, yeah. Then I have to pinch hit. Then we just go to our bullpen, and then we just pick up Tug McGraw, send reliever to the mound. A little bit convoluted, but there you go. We're going to leave Tug McGraw's fatigue rating at 2. And there we go. A lot of work, but it's fine. It's fun. All right. One thing I'm hoping for in Pocket Pennant Run eventually is when you go to full screen, that this will be full screen, but it doesn't scale to full screen. It just does that. So hopefully that will be something that will be possible in the future. But again, love the game. All right. Bly 11. Nah, I don't think so. We are going to go, and we're going to take Bly 11 out of the game. So let's pull this over here. Let me see. I'd like to bring in Bill Robinson. So we're going to bring in Bill Robinson over here. Boink. So Bill Robinson will come into pinch hit here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we got to put Bill Robinson into pinch hit over here as well. Let's go to our bench. And let's go to Bill Robinson. Boink. Okay. What am I doing here, man? Yeah, I forgot to go to my bench. That's what I wanted to do. I get confused, man. All right, pinch hit for Burt Blyleven and make changes. There we go. Yep. Thank you very much. All right, here's Bill Robinson now. So Robinson for the Bucks, a 264 average, 24 home runs in 1979. Tug McGraw's finished his warm-up pitches, and we are ready to go again. Here's the pitch. And Bill Robinson will ground this one back to Tug McGraw, who kind of tosses over and then just a little lateral on to Ed Kranepool for the 1-3 put out. So Bill Robinson does not get the job done for us. Back at the top of the order, Omar Moreno. All right, rolling it up here. And this is going to be a strikeout. So Tug McGraw picking up his first K of the game. Welcome back, D. Scott Howard. Welcome back. We got a 3-3 tie here. And I've got work tomorrow, so can't go extra innings. If this goes to 9, it's going to end at 9. We're just going to. And by the way, you do have that option in Pocket Pennant Run Baseball if you want to do it. Anyhow, having fun here. All right, here's Bill Madlock. He needs to get something done here. Has a triple, and a double in this game. So 2 for 3. All right. It's Pittsburgh faithful here hoping for some good things here for our hot corner man. And here's the pitch. And not this time. He goes down swinging. So Tug McGraw came here to play some ball, baby. All right. And now I've got to fix everything here. So we'll start it in Strat. Okay. So it's going to be a tough choice. Let me see here. Game doesn't count. I can bring in any damn person I want. It's too. I don't want to bring in Teak. Not yet. Let's not go. Let's bring in old Donnie Robinson. What do we think here? Let's bring in Don Robinson. Okay, Robinson. Don Robinson for Bill Robinson. I kind of like it. Okay. So Don Robinson will be pitching, and now we got to fix this in Pocket Pennant Run. I had to think of the name of the game here for a second. So you got to, for some real weird reason, you got to do that. Okay. And now we just go here. So we don't, so again, when you're playing the board game assistant, don't pay attention to this. Okay. It's not, this is only important to the pocket pennant run game. Even though you will see his ratings change here, just ignore this unless you're playing pocket pennant run. And we're bringing in Don Robinson. Boom. And send him to the mound. And I'm not going to change this fatigue rating either. There we go. So Donnie Robinson on there now. He went 8-8 for the Pirates in 1979, and he will face Jerry Grody, Ken Boswell, and then I guess Swoboda will be. We'll see what goes on here. Don't know what's going to go on. All right, let's do this. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. And for those that were bored, again, I'm sorry. Thank you for hanging out, though, too. You're always welcome back. There's some fun times here, I think. All right, and here we go. Here's the pitch. And Jerry Grody cranks this one out. Long fly ball to right center field. This is going to get down. Moreno and Parker converging. Parker gets the ball, and Jerry Grody has himself a 2-base hit. So here come the Mets now in double digits in hits. And here's Ken Boswell, fielder's choice last time up. He is 1 for 3. And looks like we got a pinch runner. So Rod Gaspar is going to enter for New York, pinch running and batting 7th. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right. So let us go to our bench and let's grab Rod Gaspar. Rod Gaspar, pinch runner for Ken Boswell. I cannot pinch run. Yeah, I'm sorry. Geez, for Jerry Grody. Let's not be so picky. Okay, there we go. All right, nice. All right, and here we go. Everything looking good on both sides. Here's Ken Boswell. Don Robinson now in trouble. Potential go-ahead run for the Mets out in scoring position. And here is the pitch. Gaspar, decent wheels. And what do we got here? This is going to be a single on a ball topped out towards short. So runners at the corners for the Mets and nobody out. And Donnie Robinson, boy, I don't know. Ooh, baby. I think we are going to probably yank Don Robinson. Not looking too sharp here, I think. Not looking too sharp at all. So, again, this isn't actually a season replay or anything like that. So I'm bringing in Jim Bibby. Let's make things interesting here. Make Jim Bibby here. Okay, boom. All right, and let's change our pitcher over here. Let's go to our bullpen, and let's get Jim Bibby, even though he is a starter. I don't give a damn. We're having fun. As a reliever, his fatigue is 4, but that doesn't matter. All right. Jim Bibby, we're bringing him in, trying to clean up a mess. You're having to work from the stretch. And let me see, what do we got here? Let's look on the other side because I didn't change the Mets pitcher. So I don't know what Strat's going to do. Let me show you guys the situation right now. So this is where it will get a little bit interesting. So it has Swoboda at bat, but he actually shouldn't be at bat. So let's see what it does. Good. There we go. So the pinch hitter is going to be Ed Charles. So you guys see that. So let's go to the bench. And let's actually go to the bench. And let's get Ed Charles in there. And he will be pinch hitting, actually, for Swoboda. There we go. That works. Okay. Cool. And everything's still all matched up and nice and good to go. So I'm interested for Cards and Dice guys. You can let me know now or later in the comments. Do you think this is more work doing games like this and scoring by hand? I mean, I watched Dwayne Martz do it, and he's just, it's like he's playing a Stradivarius, and he's doing it in Digital Diamond Baseball. So, and again, I haven't played Cards and Dice Baseball in forever, ever. Even though I'm not rolling the dice, I'm still doing what you do in Cards and Dice Baseball. So I find this very kind of fun, but kind of jarring. I'm not used to this anymore, but I want to get used to it again. I'm having fun, man. All right, here's Ed Charles now. So Charles in 1969, 169 at bats, had a 207 average and cranked three. Hey, there he is. Merry Christmas to Legend Sports Universe, one of the coolest folks out there in our family, in our community. Max Cornelius, good God. Max Cornelius, I don't think I've seen you since like 2024 or something like that, man. I hope you're doing well. Legends, do you have some baseball coming up tonight? Please let us know. Legend Sports Universe Franchise Stars Baseball League and the awesomeness that that is. If you guys want to experience MLB The Show in a way that you never thought possible, and you just want to get some great baseball, he's one of the two voices or three voices I mentioned earlier, along with Chris Slovic and Ron Juckett, who you really feel like you're at a baseball game when these guys call the game. So do please subscribe to Legend Sports Universe. Great guy, man. And hope all is well with you and yours, my friend. He says, probably doing football in a bit. And he says, next to the last week of the season there. And he says, lots of playoff chaos on the line. All right. There we go. All right. Let's get back to this. Strat, again, Strat is off screen, and we're using Pocket Pennant Run as our board game assistant. Here's the pitch now to Ed Charles. Let's see. The Mets going to try. We do have a steal attempt coming up here, and he has a safe chance of 1 to 100%. So we're just going to hold on to the ball. Why the hell would we even throw? All right, and the runner is safe, so we're going to go ahead and Ken Boswell will pick up the steal, uncontested. All right, Max, I'm glad you're doing well. It has been such a long time since you've been in here, my friend. Just doing a little experiment. First base open, Jim Bibby. Jim Bibby not getting it done. So let's do this again. Let me see. Who do we got coming up after Ed Charles? He's swinging around the corner to Wayne Garrett, going back to the top. Well, actually, much more work. So Ken says for him, he said this is a lot more work than just doing. So cool. That is cool. I like to get these opinions. You know, not being a cards and dice guy, this is. I haven't been since my undergraduate days, so this is all kind of new to me again. But it is fun. All right, I'm here. I am thinking strategy here. So I'm wondering, what do I want to do? Oh, decisions. Let's just play it straight up. So Max says he's been liking Pocket Pennant Run. That's cool. So Max, there was an update just a couple weeks ago or so that you might want to pick up. Yeah, really fun little game. Well, fun, massive piece of software and fun little game here too. But we're actually playing Strat tonight, not Pocket Pennant Run. And Ed Charles strikes out. So that was clutch for Jim Bibby. But man, he's got a long way to go, and he's got to face Wayne Garrett. So Garrett has been on base once in this game with a single. He has struck out, grounded out, and popped out. All right, Jim Bibby having to work out of the stretch again. And here's the pitch. All right, this is a ground ball. Offense must decide to send or hold the runner. The runner is being waved home. And let me see. The safe chance is 80%. We are going to get the shore out at first. We're going to have to concede the run. And we go. There we go. All right. So this is going to be a ground ball asterisk, baby. Who did we ground out to? Okay, and a run scores, and the Mets retake the lead. It is 4-3. I don't know, Ken. I mean, that's why I'm asking, because I think the other thing too with the big splash when Digital Diamond Baseball made its foray, and while there had been other games doing it before Digital Diamond Baseball, what what really amazed me was this game. Digital Diamond Baseball has been around for what, maybe, what, 12 years. So 12 years it's been around. I've been playing with it since version 3. But all of a sudden, like so many people in the community, cousin, got really excited about Digital Diamond and the fact that you could input. And so it was fun to see that, see people coming and using a digital baseball game even just for that. So he says, I will say this, however, there is a reason I can bang out 500 to 700 cards and dice games a year, because you input directly into ball stat when playing. Okay, fair. That's fair. And I love to know what people are doing, man. So that's cool. And, again, and I see Dwayne doing what he's doing with Appa Master Game in Digital Diamond, and his games are like, I mean, he doesn't bullshit near as much as I do. And he knocks these games out fast. So I love the perspectives. All right, 2 down. And we got Bud Harrelson at the plate. So we got Bud Harrelson batting lefty. He's the switchy, but batting lefty against the righty, Jim Bibby. And here we go. Bibby can get out of this without giving up any more runs. That would make us very happy here in the Steel City. And we got a clutch thing here on Strat. And I guess that is going to be a strikeout. All right, so Jim Bibby gets it done. And now we have to do our changes again. All right. So, ultra lineup, New York Mets. So, JC Martin is going to come in. So, let's get JC Martin. Where are you, JC? Change position. Oops, I'm sorry. Change position. Yeah. Choose. Save. I have an illegal lineup. Yeah, I know that. So, ugh. This is so weird. Okay. So this is what I ran into the other night, right here. Is all I want to do is bring JC Martin in here. And so I've got to make Ed Charles. I guess I've got to make him a pitcher, although he's not rated at that. But we're going to go ahead and do that. And then save the lineup. No, I still have an illegal lineup. All right. What do I got to deal with here? Oh, I got to deal with this pinch runner. That's what I've got to do. So, yeah, this is one thing I still think I don't remember asking for this part. All right. Gaspar is obviously not going to be staying in the game. So here we go. Let's just do this just so we can knock him out. Pitchers are currently, you may not make this change. Wow. Okay, this kind of sucks. So let's just make him, what are we missing here? Yeah, I think this has to be fixed. It definitely has to be fixed. All right, now we're all over the place here. So Ed Charles is out. Let's get rid of Ed Charles first. And let's bring in JC Martin, right? And he is going to be catching. Except I've got him in the wrong order. Ah, damn it. So we're going to stop it right here because there's no way I can get out of this, as you can see, no matter if I close this or not. And I can't now, because I accidentally put Martin there instead of replacing with Gaspar. That was my mistake. I don't think I can do this. Yep. See, he's already in the lineup. So unfortunately, this is the thing that is still a little bit weird in Pocket Pennant Run. Could be me messing. So I need a little video, a review of a video from Paul. But anyhow, there we go. We're going to leave it as is. And thank you guys for coming out. Tell you what, though, we're going to finish the damn game here in Strat. Anyhow, okay, let's finish it in Strat. And again, can't blame Pocket Pennant Run. I think that's just me not used to doing that in Pocket Pennant Run baseball. So But that said, so one thing would be nice. With all of that being said, I would like an undo button would be really nice, because if I'm playing a cards and dice game, I can't change this. There's nothing I can do now to change this. I can't move J.C. Martin up to 7 where he should be hitting. So, um, partially me, certainly making the mistake. But an undo button would be really, really cool, because I can't get out of this. So it's not going to affect the game, but I can't drag anybody around. I can't move J.C. Martin up where I want him. So, keep that in mind if you're messing around with this and you're doing this. Um, don't mess up like I did. All right. That said, let's go ahead and let's do this. So we got Dave Parker up there now. We're this close. We might as well at least finish the game. And this is going to be a ground ball. Butter Harrelson up with it over to Ed Kranepool. So one away, and here's Willie Stargell. And here's the pitch to Willie. All right, and Stargell is going to ground out. So 2 up, 2 down, and it brings up John Milner. And Milner swings on this ball, and he's going to ground out. So that ends the 8th for the Pirates. We go to the 9th, and the Mets holding on to a 4-3 lead. All right, and infield guarding the lines, and they're D. Scott Howard and Ken Castro greeting one another. Love it, love it, love it. All right, we're going to keep Jim Bibby in there. Why not? Let's see if he can get. He got out of a jam. He deserves to stay in there. So we got either a single or a ground out, hoping for the latter, and we get the former. Isn't that the way it always works? All right. So Cleon Jones singles, and Cleon Jones, he's going to try to cause some trouble here, and I don't want that to happen, do I? Well, we are holding him. Anything I can do here? I hate when I can't defend against a steal. It is what it is. All right, here we go. That's why you can tell I'm a digital baseball player, because I could try to defend against that. So Tommy Agee strikes out. All right, 1 away, and here's Art Shamsky now. And here's the pitch. Runner edges away from the base. So Cleon Jones trying to start trouble, and here's the steal attempt. And you know what? Let's go ahead and throw for him. You never know. You just never know. It's going to be out in an 18-20. I don't think that's going to happen. Nope. So there's a 6, and Cleon Jones pilfers another one. Cleon pretty busy here. All right, here we go. Let's set it up again. Here's the pitch to Art Shamsky. 1 away. And Cleon Jones is trying to steal third. And we're going to throw for him again. 60% chance. So he's going to be out on a 13-20, and he is out of there. So Cleon Jones trying to steal his 4th base, and Ed Ott does his job. So 2 away, and Shamsky back in the box now. So perhaps a huge break here for the 79 Pirates. And here's the pitch to Shamsky. Shamsky draws the walk. So Jim Bibby now dealing with a runner on again, 2 down. And here's Ed Kranepool. Kranepool's going to draw the walk, and I think we are going to have to hook Mr. Bibby right here. So there we go, man. Not even visiting the mound. All right, we got to bring Tacali on just to stop this nonsense. Let's stop the nonsense, man. All right, Teak, you got to do this. You got to do this, man. All right, J.C. Martin up there came in as a substitution in this game, and there we go. There's a fly ball to right field. Dave Parker has it. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and the New York Mets lead the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3. All right, we got Phil Garner up there. So what is lacking here? Actually, it's not lacking. I can just look here and let's see what Scrap Iron has done. So he's 1 for 3. All right, let's just stay where we are. We're gonna let Scrap Iron, even though he has 2 errors, we're gonna let him hit. Oh, almost look like a genius, but this one is gonna be he's gonna ground out 6-3. All right, 1 away as Harrelson makes the play on the crane pull. And here's Ed Ott. I'm just gonna let everybody swing away at this point now, as is getting at 8. And swing and a miss. And we are down to Tim Foley. For shits and giggles, who do we have on the bench? Let's let Steven Akosha come in and either get a hit or get the last out. Yeah? What do you think? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. And here we go. Should be the third out of the inning, or maybe a base hit. Come on, Steve. What do you think? Not looking good. Ground out, and that ends the game. So the New York Mets take this one from the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3. For the New York Mets, 4 runs, 12 hits, no errors. And for the Pittsburgh Pirates of 1979, 3 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors. So John DFW says he's doing the most tedious thing in Action PC. Oh, you're doing ballparks. So you got to put on some music. If you're doing you're doing park layouts, that's super drag. And like, I'm really anal about that too. There's your box score, guys, if you want to see it. That was fun. I do got to get on a little conference call with Paul Fay to see if an undo button for Egypts like me, that was not Pocket Pennant Run's fault, that I accidentally substituted in the wrong part of the batting order. So you saw throughout the whole thing, though, Pocket Pennant Run does very, very well as a board game assistant. Dwayne, I don't know if you're still here. Is there an undo in Digital Diamond Baseball if you mess up? It's like, oops, wait a minute, I accidentally put this guy in the wrong place or whatever. Because now I understand. I've got to say something. John says, yep, that's what he's doing. I got to say something, Cards and Dice guys, mad respect. So I always see a lot of Cards and Dice games, like guys are like, oh man, I hate doing double switches. And so coming from really a digital baseball background, right? I'm like, why do you hate double switches? You just put this guy here, this guy there. Well, I just learned tonight, and I wasn't even doing a double switch, that I just made a mistake. And so I'm thinking, wow, if I tried to do a double switch and if I missed, right, because a digital game is going to just say, nope, you can't do that, fix this, or whatever, or I could just drag it and move people. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Drag this guy up, and that's it. So hopefully there is an undo button. But that was my fault, not Pocket Pennant Runs. I would just like it to be a way to get out of that screen. But mad respect to you guys who do double switches in Cards and Dice Baseball. All right, so if you're in the mood for American football, Legend Sports Universe is going to be doing some American football. He's getting down to the end of that season in that project, and hopefully that means we'll see more baseball, but he does them all great. So I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. We've been on for just about 2 hours, and had a lot of fun with this. This was a lot of fun, and I have to say I like the way both Strat Max and Apago play. It's nice not to have a horse in this race, if you will. They both play beautifully. Very different games, but they play nice. And still some love for Pocket Pennant Run. Baseball, you did a great job. You did a great job. It was me that kind of made it all go bollocks. You're welcome, Cousin Ken, heart and soul of this channel. And for everybody else, it's getting late. I usually say my individual goodbyes, but we're going to, I think here at 2 hours, we're just going to knock out. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow evening for, I don't know, maybe a good old chin wag, or we'll do something or if Ken Castro's up for it, Game 4 of the 1912 World Series. We'll see. Until then, everybody, sincerely, thank you very much, one and all. And you've made this, help make this this has been a tough Christmas. You guys have made it a lot better. So thank you. And we'll see you around the batting cage. Good night.